Hello, happy Sunday, friends, family. Great to be here. I'm super grateful that we all get to hang out today. Sundays are my favorite day because we get together and talk about things that are a little outside of the scope of regular everyday real estate. And I think uh, those of you who do join me on these Sunday calls appreciate some of the topics that we cover. And today's topic is very, very important, and I'm sure so many of you are going to gain a tremendous amount of value. So make sure you've got your notepads, get a piece of paper, pen, anything you need to take notes. Have it handy because Rebecca Ahmed is one of those really special people that have a tremendous amount of experience in the world of corporate success. And I actually came to find out and learn about her not because I was looking to up my leadership skills and things that had to do with work. I actually came into contact with her while I was facing my own personal crisis. What I was realizing is that there were certain conversations, people, situations that would drain me. They would just drain me, and I couldn't understand what was happening. I thought it might be a situation but with boundaries. I thought maybe it's just me not being able to communicate properly or effectively. And what I came to find out was that it had everything to do with energy. And I dove into Rebecca's book, and it was an eye opener for me. And so I thought, what a great idea it would be to bring her here so that she could explain to all of you the energy of success, how she's really broken down this framework and made it actually very, very interesting, and a type of modality that you could implement into your life, into your business, and into your organization. So get ready because today is going to be pretty dope. Now, before we bring her up, I just want to know who's with me today. So say hello and tell me what part of the country you are joining us from. What's up, Jen? How you doing, Alexander? Good to see you guys. Hey, Tammy. Always happy to have you here with us. It's a beautiful day. Dimitri, coming to us from Europe. What's up, dog? Every day real estate is fine as long as it's big deals. I totally agree. Totally agree. Big deals or no deals at all. Awesome. So we're coming to us from Phoenix, some from St. Louis, Santa Rosa, California, Tennessee. We got Owen out of Utah. What's up, Owen? Great post today, by the way. You had me in tears. Jason, what's going on? How's Virginia today? Thomas, say hello to Alabama for us. Phenomenal. Okay, so let me give you guys the introduction that she deserves. So Rebecca Ahmed is an award-winning speaker and founder and CEO, which is the Chief Energy Officer of Energetic Impact. She's leading the next generation, the energetic revolution, ditching outdated leadership playbooks and helping people harness one thing that truly moves the needle, managing their personal energy. Known as GSD because her energy gets shit done, Rebecca empowers leaders, teams, and workplaces to fuel focus, productivity, and motivation, so external chaos can't throw them off their game. The oldest of 11 siblings. Damn, 11 siblings. That is so crazy. She brings a natural ability to lead with clarity, charisma, and compassion. One audience member has said she's a shot of vitamin C. And I'm sure you guys will feel that shot today. So without further ado, let's give a beautiful mindset welcome to Rebecca Ahmed. Rebecca, thanks for joining us. How you doing today?
I'm doing so well, and thank you so much for that warm introduction.
Absolutely, absolutely. So if you could, I want to give folks a high-level understanding of the different energy levels. As I've been diving into it, it became very clear to me the different strata and how they relate in terms of communication, emotion, feeling, interaction, connection, and the residue of what interactions and conversations and communication would look like from those different energy levels. And I want folks that have tuned in to get an understanding of what that means. So break it down, if you would, for us. What does it mean when you are referencing levels of energy?
Yes. So energy is the amount of vigor or capacity you bring to a situation. And we look at this through the lens of constructive energy, which many people will classify as positive energy. But I like to say it's constructive because it's fueling.
Mm-hmm.
and destructive energy where it's draining. That drain that you talked about, the reason why you said you picked up my book is that destructive energy. And so when you look at the 7 levels of energy, they start at the bottom. Level 1, the most destructive level of energy a person can experience. I call this the safety zone. Because in this space, every level of energy has advantages and disadvantages. And so the lens that you're seeing the world through, and in my keynotes, I give everyone different glasses so you can take them on and off and see the world through these different levels of energy. But through that level 1, you're seeing the world in a realm of fear, self-doubt. This is where those critics or those inner gremlins come in, you know, that people talk about, and they say, you can't do this, you're not good enough. But they're to keep you safe. Essentially, your brain and your body is saying, stay safe. Don't do that. We love being in bed. We love being cozy, right? And so that's that level 1 energy.
Right.
From there, level 2 is combative.
Okay.
We're seeing this quite frequently in the corporate workspace. We see this on the news. We see this consistently because everyone loves to chat about that energy, right? It's combative. It's very addicting. It's very, you know, you can get into it and you don't even realize where you're at.
Right.
And with that energy level, the beautiful thing, if you need to push through stress, if you have someone like a bear running at you, you want to either fight or you need to run. You need action.
Right.
And so that's the beautiful thing about this energy. However, because it's combative, because you're usually seeing black or red, because it's coming from a space of anger, it's not sustainable. How long can you run through mud?
Sure.
And so you see people who live in this destructive space consistently in their lives have health issues because your energy, that destructive energy, has to come out in some way, shape, or form.
Would you say it's like a manifestation of a stress response that this second level of energy would operate in? It feels to me like competitive environments or corporate environments that fuel competition between different members of the team and really don't have that collaborative nature. Would you say that that is predominantly a stress response? And then are we essentially living off the hormones of stress when we're at energy level 2?
Yes, it's very contagious, right? We talk about that negative energy and how it can fly through your organization like fire. And so it very much is a stress response, 100%.
Got it.
When you look at competition, competition can be healthy if done in a constructive way, if done in alignment with people's values. When it's breaking down other people, that's different. That's that level 2 energy. That's that combative zone. So we have those 2 levels, level 1, level 2 of destructive energy. And I love the comment. So thank you. Yes, running through mud definitely will help with the visualization. Because when you know you're exhausted, you're like, am I still in quicksand? Okay, right. So we got 1 and 2 there. Level 3 is this bridge. That's where you start to get into more constructive energy. And this energy level, I actually find it the trickiest because we really, really got comfortable in it during COVID. We had to. It's about finding the silver lining. When you hear yourself say, how's work? It's fine. How's home? It's fine. How are the kids? Fine. When you hear yourself say fine, that's that bridge. You're making it okay, but you're not actually thriving. It's not great, but it's not horrible. And so people really can sit in this level of energy and just coast through life without really hitting their goals.
Do you think the majority of the population that goes to a W-2 job that they despise or that they're uninterested in, working for people that are unappreciative of them, would you say that the majority of us are living in this level then, just kind of coasting and deciding that it's fine? It's okay that we're spending 8 of our hours a day being unfulfilled as long as it's fine. Is it just like dialing it in or like a people pleasing, or it's like almost have given up? Would you say that's kind of where it sits?
There's a combination, right? Everyone comes from this through a different lens based on your intersectionality, based on your world. So I like to look at it very much in a personalized sense, but some of the things that you can pull out that you consistently see, the fine being, it's not that bad. Why would I mess with it? I've gone through enough. We all will say that. We will all say life is sometimes extremely hard, And so it's very comfortable to say, you know what? I'm good with fine. I don't need it to be great because as long as it's not horrific and exhausting, I'll take fine.
Right.
So that could very much be it. We also love to go through a hamster wheel. I come from hospitality. If you've been to Cosmopolitan or Encore Las Vegas, those are my properties in Vegas. And we talk a lot about this loop because you can give, service, service, service. Real estate's the same. You have your clients, you give, give. And then you don't prioritize your own energy and you drop into that level 1. And you're like, oh my God, I'm so exhausted. Can everyone just leave me alone and just like absolutely understand me? I can't handle this. And then you go to frustration, level 2. You know what? Damn it. Like, have some boundaries, have some respect. And then you jump to 3. You know what? It's fine. I got this. It's fine. You see that little loop we do?
100%.
I call it the hamster wheel. And so a lot of times you end up in 3 there just because you need to make it fine.
Right.
Because you don't want to be in 1 and 2. And I tell people, when you catch yourself doing that, lean in. Because what you're doing is putting whipped cream on shit. Or if in the corporate world, glitter on garbage. You're not addressing what's coming up. If you actually address that 1 and 2, you'll get past this 3 much faster and jump into higher levels of energy.
Okay. I love it. So 1 and 2 seem to be energizing, but they can be destructive and also not super constructive in your life. When we're in the 3rd level, we're sort of trying to make sense of what's happening in level 1 and level 2, but without really addressing the issues. And so it's that people-pleasing kind of plateau that you can spend, I don't know, 70 years of your life if you're not aware and careful of it. Then how do you elevate beyond that? What's the next?
Yeah. So level 4 is that level of service, energy level, and it's giving and thinking about others. And so many people in places of service do that. You know, how do I make sure my client is happy? How do I ensure, if you're in real estate and you're looking at it from a home perspective, you're thinking of the kids, you're thinking of dad, you're thinking of mom, you're thinking of the animals, you're thinking of everyone, right? You're not thinking of yourself. And so that beautiful level of energy is a giving level of energy. It's a problem-solving level of energy. It's a shoulder to cry on energy. It's such a gift. But you have to remember, just like on the airplane when they say to put your mask on first, if you don't have a full battery, if you are not charged, how much can you give to others?
Right.
And so that's where you have to prioritize yourself to be able to leverage that level of energy so that it gives back to you.
That's so real. It's such a real, I wouldn't have even understood what this even meant until my world kind of exploded post TV show when we started going on the road and connecting with people in our community. And I would see and have an opportunity to connect with thousands of people in one given week. And what I realized is that even though we were really bringing smiles to people's faces, we were helping people connect, we were encouraging collaboration and giving advice, helping people do real estate deals, I was getting drained. And the reason for that is I hadn't been prioritizing things in my health. So instead of doing my meditation and the workout that would typically energize me in the morning, I would forego that so that we could get on the road sooner so we could meet and shake hands with more people. Ultimately, that ended up causing burnout in me and made me have to stop a little earlier than I would have liked to have stopped in our little road tour. So that's something that I'm learning for the next time we go on the road, is to prioritize those, couple of hours in the day that energize me so that I can go and energize others. And it feels like you have to have that balance of taking care of yourself before you can take care of anyone else. And it's a theme that I think is one that many of us have seen play out in our lives, either in a constructive or a destructive pattern. So that's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. And I love that call out, because what you just said, Jamil, is so important. We do prioritize getting there faster, right? Efficiencies. I want to give as much as I possibly can. But if you don't fill up your own self, if you don't have the battery to give, you're running on empty.
Right.
And the challenge with this is that our society almost encourages that. Do you know they basically don't sleep? They work all the time. Can we flip that? And I encourage people, I've said, look at how much more you can give. People ask me all the time, how do you get so much shit done? I didn't name myself GSD. I got letters from this. And I said, because I meditate, because I work out, because I prioritize sleep, because throughout my day, I put in pockets, I call them jolts of joy, where I lead with pleasure. And so maybe it's 5 minutes of a laugh and I jump onto a comedy. I call my partner just to say I love you and see what they're up to. Mm-hmm. These little things throughout the day boost my energy so that I am sustainable and I can keep giving. But if I don't do them, I'm empty.
And is it as simple as that? Just prioritizing a 5-minute break where you do something that energizes you, for instance, calling your partner, or maybe taking a walk, or petting a dog, or, you know, watching a cat video, something that brings some joy to you. Is it that simple? Can we sustain ourselves through an entire day of high intensity work by just moments of joy and kind of giving ourselves that opportunity to feel that elevated emotion? Is it as simple as that?
It really is. Those dopamine hits are that strong. Wow. Think about laughing.
Right.
How energizing is it to laugh? How energizing it to love? Those moments are such big boosts of energy that, yes, they fill you all the way back up.
It's like a power nap to the system. If you want to have a really great day and you're starting to feel a little drained, just put on Kevin Hart for 5 minutes, have a giggle, and get right back to it. I mean, that it sounds so simple, and it really is.
And it really is, because we don't lead with pleasure enough, Jamil. We go to the negativity versus leading with that pleasure. It's almost as if we feel guilty. Oh, I had dessert.
Right.
I went to, do an hour yoga. Like, that was me time. I should feel guilty for that. When really, what it's doing is actually making you more constructive to the universe. It's so powerful, and it's fun.
It is. It feels good to prioritize yourself. I mean, when I'm doing it, I don't feel guilty any longer. I used to feel guilty for it. It's because of the programming. I think I was given that conditioning that it's selfish to, or actually something that's a negative quality if you prioritize or put yourself first. And I think it's a lie. I think that's a lie that's been kind of shoved down our throats so that we can outsource agency of our lives to our bosses, to the companies, and to the news cycles and things that are meant to be controlling of the way we think and feel. But as soon as we take agency of that, or we take power back from giving that away, something really magical happens.
Yeah. And just run the numbers. Literally just jot it down. I always say data speaks for that, right? So note what you did, how many times a day you energized yourself, and how much you accomplished that day. Look at how effective you were, how productive you were, how your conversations were, how your relationships are. Quantify it. Right. You will see immediately the difference. It is astounding to see the numbers when you actually do that, even for just a month. You'll see your energy increase, and you'll see that you're more sustainable. You'll see that you're more impactful. You'll see you're getting to your goals faster. You'll start hearing the feedback around you, because you solicit feedback as part of this, and you get curious, and that jumps us into the next level of energy, that cultivating curiosity. But when you start asking people, because they'll start asking you, what's changed?
Right. What are you doing?
Yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm noticing that you're so much more energized. Why do you seem so happy? Or all of a sudden people want to be around you. They're like, you're contagious. Like, your energy is just so amazing around me. I just want to work around you.
It's attractive. It's an attractive force. And I think that's actually, when you call it the energy of success, I think that is the fundamentals of it. Because if I can be more attractive, and I don't mean this in a physical way, I mean just more attractive energetically, and that's going to bring the right people to me. That's going to bring the right opportunities to me. That's going to have people want to choose me to do business with over someone else to do business with, because there's resonance there. Mm-hmm. And so that curiosity is and that's an elevation from the fourth level, right? So when we're in that curious state, this is where we're now looking at how are we engaging in curiosity with ourselves and with others in that level.
Yep, because that level 5 energy, that curious zone, comes from a place of non-judgment. Everything is an opportunity to learn and grow.
Got it.
And
that's
so
like when you're in a growth mindset, you see everything as opportunities. It's not there. You're not just stuck in like, oh, this is how I am. I'm this way. I have these temperament. I have these political beliefs. I'm unchangeable. And maybe I can have a little bit of range in there, but beyond that, I'm pretty calcified.
Yep, that is exactly it. It is that growth mindset. And what I love about this level of energy is that you'll catch yourself going into bias, right? Naturally, unconscious bias will come in. We've learned this. We actually learned that it's more unconscious than conscious. So the beautiful thing is that you can now insert this energetic success principle or energetic level and say, wait a minute, I'm feeling a bias or I'm feeling a limiting belief. Now I can lead with curiosity and say, why? Versus just letting your energy control you and jumping to 2 and then completely laying on your assumptions and your judgments onto someone else. What's coming up for me? Maybe I've never experienced this before. This is so different. I hear people all the time. I just got back from Asia. My partner was deployed for 6 months. And so I got to go stay with him for a couple different times. And I was sharing just the different experiences I had in Japan. And so many times people would say, that's so weird. I was like, don't you think what we do here is so weird too? Right. Just because you don't know it doesn't mean it's weird. It's just different.
What were some of those things that stood out to you? I've heard the train, for example, is an interesting phenomenon because nobody talks on it. Is that one of the things that stood out to you, or what else kind of hit you there?
That's really, that's very different. It's very quiet. It's coming from their culture of respect. The cleanliness, there's no trash cans, but it's so clean. It's like amazing. It's fascinating to see food differences of, what you eat and where you're eating it and how you eat it. That's always, I love exploring different foods. So that was really different and fun. The onsens, they don't allow tattoos. Because historically in Japan, tattoos were connected to violence. And because of that, many of their onsens do not allow tattoos or you need to cover them. That's so different than what I've experienced. Tattoos are a form of art and expression, and they're beautiful, and it's coming from a place of constructive energy. So that was very different. So just understanding that, but sharing that with people. And if you go straight to, that's weird, that's gross, versus so interesting, they just do it different. Right. That's level 5 energy. I'm curious as to why they do it like this. Did you know they said like one of the top prescriptions in Japan for people with anxiety is to go outside and to touch the trees and walk amongst the forests. Like in Kyoto, it's like
that's like a real doctor prescription to go outside, engage in nature, go ground yourself, and that. It's like how we've been told to take 2 Advils and call them tomorrow if it hasn't gotten away.
Yes.
Incredible. Like nature's Advil is just hugging a tree, get some sunlight, and drink a glass of water and maybe breathe for 5 minutes.
And that's all pleasurable. So we just talked about that, Jamil. Lead with pleasure. Like, go for a walk, enjoy some water, take a breath.
Right.
Yeah. So that'll lead us to 6. 6 is that synergy. That's that level of energy where you see a lot of collaboration. In the workplace, millennials love this energy. That's why we broke down walls and started making sure it was open concept and everyone can collaborate with each other. Oh, I want your thought process. I want this inclusive environment. That energy is where you start creating this like creativity zone is what I call it.
Okay.
Because in that creativity zone, you'll start peaking at level 7 energy, which are those aha moments. I call that the climax zone. It's like, figured out that challenge. Got it. Or you have an out-of-body experience. My brother's a kicker. He says, when I kick that field goal, a lot of times I'm like, I swear I see myself do it, but I know I'm doing it because it's an out-of-body experience. And those are so energetically fueling. Those are those peaks that are going to get you even further throughout the day because it's like, yes, I got huge hits of energy. That's so fun.
It's really interesting, the parallels in what you're describing with our own body's chakra systems. there's it sounds to me and it feels like there's a direct parallel from the 7 chakras of your root right up to your crown, and they correlate to the exact same things. Like one is just, base survival, and the other one is divine inspiration, which is pretty much what an aha moment really is when you catch that solution, you catch that thing that's out in the field or in the ether, and you're like, wasn't mine, but it's mine now. And you got this beautiful concept or this beautiful solution that hadn't really existed until you were able to grab that. Is that something you've noticed, or is that was there an intentional design to that, or did it just naturally work out that way?
I think it naturally worked out that way. So Bruce Schneider is the leader of IPEC, which is the organization and school I went to learn all of this and get my master's certification. And it's funny you say that, because today I'm going to Shine a Light is an organization here in Las Vegas, and they're doing a sound bath, a meditation sound bath for an hour and a half. And I'm going exactly for that, to connect with my chakras, to see myself. I'm about to have a keynote with Fountain Blue Las Vegas on September 3rd. And I was like, I want to see it. I want to visualize it. I want to take all that yumminess that you're talking about from that divine energy, that higher being, whatever you want to call it, and say, come in and show me, so I can really just experience that. Because in our everyday life, we don't. That's that beautiful thing, is that you do. That's why meditation is so powerful. That's why slowing down is so powerful too. So exactly what you said, 100% connects.
It's so fascinating. And for me, I've done the same parallels when it comes to our relationship with money, right? It was one of those things as growing up. I come from probably a similar background as you, first generation East Indian parents, very, very dedicated to their children being more than what they were. And what they were able to do. And of course, that meant that I had to be a doctor, right? And the reason that I had to be a doctor was because it's the only profession that would give them prestige and give me money. So for us, my relationship with money growing up was always really interesting. And it also went right through those same levels. It was where money was survival, and I didn't have enough of it. I was living in lack, total scarcity all the time. And so I was just hoarding and always just trying to as a child, I used to steal things a lot, and not normal stuff. I would steal like pencils and erasers and just things that were nonsensical. And I learned later on that it was because I had so much scarcity. There was such a lack of resources. I never really understood if I was going to have enough even for next year or next semester or things of that nature. And that would subconsciously caused me to do these things. And as I continued to progress and I guess evolve in my life financially, I saw the parallels in how I was relating with money on an energetic level to what was happening in my life financially, until the point where I had that level 7 moment where I got, call it a divine idea, divine inspiration to do something in business, which ultimately, exploded my entire life. And I look back at that and I think that's exactly what happened. That's the exact same thing that happens to people who invent things, or, people who create that song that is on the radio charts for a year. It's so damn good, And so that's the kind of thing we're talking about. And it's so fascinating to me that it extends across all areas and facets of life, from success to finances to love. It's the same thing over and over and over and over again. I don't know. Am I the only one seeing this pattern? You've seen it obviously, but guys in the chat, ladies in the chat, let me know if you're seeing the parallels here. I love that so much, because it really distills everything down for us in a way that we can actually comprehend and integrate it into our lives.
And that's what I love what you just said. And I have to say that the doctor comment is so funny, because in my keynote, so my dad is a doctor from Pakistan, and I have an entire skit about how my dad tells people I'm an accountant, because in his world, when he immigrated to the US, you either are a doctor a lawyer or an accountant.
And, yep.
And because he knows I'm not a doctor, because he's a doctor. He knows I'm not an attorney because we have multiple attorneys in my family. Remember, I'm the oldest of 11, so we got a couple of them. So he knows which kids to go to when he needs legal advice. So in his head, I am an accountant, and I get calls from like uncles and aunties, and they're like, "All right, Rebecca, time for accounting this year." I'm like,
I'm not an accountant.
Still not an accountant.
So is he still perpetuating that lie out there, just like telling everybody his daughter's an accountant? I mean, now you're
understand. He's like,
no
she
idea.
speaks a lot. She speaks, I think, about accounting.
Wow.
So I bring that forward in my speeches, and it's really fun, and it gets a good laugh. But it's exactly that, to resonate with. That was his world, and that's what he brought forward to me. And so bringing a change, a difference, yeah, Christian, I love to laugh, being a bit different than the traditional norms of Pakistan is very confusing.
That's so good.
Yes,
that's wonderful. And so you've obviously taken this work and done incredible things. I mean, you were at one point working with Caesars Entertainment as their chief energy officer. You went then to, I believe, the Cosmopolitan, and you were working in recruiting over there. And now you are consulting. How would one get more immersed in your world, say, to either bring this zone of learning to their organizations, or just personally on a level for them to understand how to manage their own energy?
Absolutely. Yeah. So my background in corporate was Cosmo, Allegiant, coming from hotels and travel primarily. But yes, I was a speaker for Caesars Entertainment. They called me their chief energy officer because coming out of COVID and getting all of those hotels going, we needed to shift their mindset from that level 3 surviving to thriving to 5 and 6. And so I would go and do speeches property by property to get their emerging leaders energized so that they could energize their teams, and we can get these hotels and casinos back running. And that's what I do. So how you can get a hold of me, energeticimpact.com is my website. But on there, you'll see you can work with me, whether it's bringing me for a keynote to energize your audiences, and then working with you on a personal level, whether that's group coaching, whether that's individual coaching. And of course, as you said, Jamil, the book, The Energy of Success, is available, and you can bring that right home to yourself and start working through it, because every chapter has key takeaways, has workbook, questions. So it's not about just reading, it's about putting into action. As you can tell, I'm very action oriented, and that's where we're going, is how can you put this stuff into your life and quickly see changes that are sustainable? That's the beauty of it.
Before we lose you, I want to do an exercise with you, but I wanted to make sure that we had an opportunity to, share your information with folks. So I have energeticimpact.com. That's the website, correct? So I'm putting that up on the screen here, folks. If someone would do me a solid and go to the Amazon store and find the Energy of Success book link, and please post that in the chat so that I can also put that up on the screen. Guys, I've recommended a handful of books, and those of you who have listened and bought the books that I've recommended, I've received so many different DMs from people saying, thank you for that. This is one of those books, friends. I highly, highly, highly recommend you either download on Audible or get physical copies, or honestly, get both. I like to actually read the physical copy of a book and then listen to it at the same time, and then I highlight and make notes. I try to, have both of them, so I have different ways of retaining the information. So guys, make sure that you get this. It's the best money you'll spend if this is something that you've been noticing in your life you need some work in. Now, the folks that are tuning in right now, they're primarily entrepreneurs. A lot of these, let me rephrase that. There's a lot of full-time entrepreneurs, and then there's also a good chunk of people who are on the pathway to becoming entrepreneurs. So they're still in that W-2 job, but they're starting to take that leap out, right? And so they are very much stuck in these different energy levels, from moving from corporate W-2 world where, maybe they're doing that thing where in your book you're describing that example where that one woman quietly quit when she was working for that boss who was really subversive to her and not at all the kind of leader that you would hope she would be. And I think she was a casting director. That, if my memory serves me correctly, yes. It was a very interesting example. I've seen how leaders in my world have been very much like that, and even at times where I have been not the best leader because of situations like that, and had to make some course corrections myself. But if you're a person right now who is juggling a W-2 job and then trying to find enough time and energy to do a little bit of work on a potential side hustle, something that could parachute you out of a 9-to-5 sort of world, how would you suggest that an individual like that manage their energy or their day so that they can have enough to get through it and not feel like they're burnt out at the end of the week?
Yeah, absolutely. So in the Energy of Success, in my book, there is a free assessment, and it's also on the website. It's a values assessment. And that values assessment is so key to do, because when you understand and can define your values, you can then place energy behind them. And so what I mean by this, for instance, if one of your values is, let's say, walk the talk, that's one of mine. And so if you said, I have a W-2, but I want to become a realtor, and I want to become a realtor within, let's say, 9 months, and I want to be able to completely transition out of here. What actions do I need to take in line with my values to get there? And you prioritize that and you build your day around that, because you're going to get excited to do those things. You're building your future. You're going to get excited to do prospecting. You're going to get excited about putting information in your CRM. Probably wouldn't usually, but because you're building something and you're saying, I'm going to do this in 9 months, and your values walk the talk, every time you do it, it's an energy boost. Boop, boop, boop. You are feeling more sustained and excited throughout the day. And so you build your day around that. A lot of times what I'm doing with entrepreneurs specifically is rearranging their calendar so that your calendar is energizing you to what you want to accomplish, versus you letting that thing run you and you're exhausted at the end of the day.
That's so important. So would you then suggest that you put the things that energize you first? Like you would maybe, because I hear a lot of people say, Jamil, you talk about meditation being a helpful thing and how it has helped you, get to this level of success, but I have no time. I have no time to do nothing.
I would push my bullshit button, Jamil. When I coach with the bullshit button.
Right.
There's no such thing as it's too busy. I'm not prioritizing it. I don't even allow my clients to say, I got too busy. It just wasn't a priority. That's okay. Let's just call a spade a spade. If it were a priority, it would have been done.
Because you make time for what is important to you and you make excuses for everything else.
Exactly.
That's it.
That's it. So I recommend personally, and it depends on the person. Remember, this is all personalized, but what I see consistently the strongest is when you place these throughout the day so that you're constantly getting those jolts of energy, just like you put your brakes, just like you pop in those little pleasure zones, those jolts of joy.
How many a day and how often?
Depends on the person. How much do you need?
Okay, so it's going to be dynamic for each person. Some people are maybe going to need like 3 of these in a day, and some people might need 10 or more.
Absolutely. Totally depends on the person, but it's important to be honest with yourself. Am I pushing myself to be energized, or do I have the energy and excitement naturally to do this because I have done the work and I now have a full battery?
So we have to first do like an audit to find out and list out the things that energize us and the things that deplete us.
Yep.
And then
that's that energy leadership index assessment that I give. That assessment is key.
Is there a place where that assessment lives? Is there?
Yes.
Is it on your website? Okay.
Yep, it's on the website.
Okay, guys. I listen. This is a must do for anyone that's joined us live, anyone, and if you're okay with it, when we send out an email later on for people who missed this live, I'll add that link to your website. But I want everybody who's watching this live, once we conclude with this, go do the assessment. Go do the energy index assessment at Rebecca's website. I'll put Rebecca's website on the screen again here. Bear with me, folks. There's a lot of comments. People are loving you here today.
I love it.
I don't know if you can see it all here, but they've been blowing it up. So
yeah, I see them just coming through. It's so fun.
It's really fun. Yeah. They're really enjoying this topic. And I think it's what's fun too is that I do have a really high vibe entrepreneur audience. And so this is super in line. So guys, energeticimpact.com. Make sure you take the energetic index test. Is that right? Or did I get it?
Leadership Index Assessment. If you just go to assessments, you'll see it there. And the values assessment is there too. The values assessment's free. It's something I built. The ELI, that other assessment, is through IPEC, and I give you the debrief so you can understand what's driving you, what's getting you going, and what's draining you, so we can just quickly shift that stuff that's draining you and get you energized so that you can accomplish your goals. Because at the end of the day, that's all what we want to do. A lot of us are just trying to say, I want to get from point A to point B, and I can be able to take care of my family. I can lead with love. I can have harmony. You're not trying to climb Mount Everest every single day. We're all just trying to work a little bit more to be more constructive, to fuel and accomplish our goals. And that's what this does.
I love that. You spoke about living and leading from your value system. And I'd like for us to wrap up with that, because for me, I didn't realize how important this was until I lost everything. When, as an entrepreneur, you have these things in life where you get success and you think you've reached the pinnacle of your life, and then everything crumbles and you go back even lower than where you may have started from in the beginning. And then you have to build your way back up again. And one of the things that I noticed my first rodeo was that I was definitely getting success, and I made millions of dollars, which has always been the focus of mine. And I realized, however, that I was doing it contrary to my value system, where I was not really caring about who I was running over, or how I felt about how I was earning money, and who got hurt potentially, all of the things, right? It was just profit over everything. And when that all fell apart, it almost felt like the entire thing was paper mache together, because it wasn't in line or in alignment with what my real core values are, which is family, love, and connection and honesty, and leading with kindness and compassion. These are the things that as a human being are really there at my core, and life and circumstance just added garbage on top of that, and made a toxic mess, which was then outpouring in how I was behaving as an entrepreneur. My second rodeo, and it's the one I'm on right now, that was different. It was where I focused on people. It was where I focused on impact, and I focused on being of service to people. And that is what ended up leading to my success. And the success has felt better. It's been longer lasting. Even when I've come across or come into problems and things not going my way, they haven't destroyed me. They, in fact, became the launch pad to the next success. And it's such a real thing to be living from your value system, to have a fulfilled life. If you could, how does somebody who maybe has a W-2 job in a career that is not in alignment with their values, how do you come to terms with that, so that you can still have a life where you can create from level 5, level 6, and level 7 energy?
Mm-hmm. So the key is connecting what you love, what you care about, what you value, Jamil, to what you're doing. That even the task at hand. So let's just say it's interesting because I'm going to be talking to this sales team coming up. And one of the things the leader told me they hate doing, she's like, oh, they're going to see that word and just go into negative energy. Forecasting. They're like, no one likes to do that. They like to do the work. They don't want to have to predict the work. I just like to do it. And so how do they get excited about forecasting? How do you get excited if you're at a W-2 job and you don't want to be doing that? Well, pull your values forward and see. So one of my values, and the example I'm going to use is inclusion. The oldest of 11. We've got Pakistanis. We've got, so my stepfather, he's white. So we've got from Iowa. And then my mom adopted 2 little Mexican babies. So we've got a Benetton ad. So
wow.
Inclusion is very much part of our family.
I love it.
And so one of the examples I'm going to show is, okay, if I don't want to do forecasting, but I need to bring this forward, I'm going to leverage a value of inclusion. So let me brainstorm. How can I use inclusion, this value of mine, to excite me, to energize my interest in completing this task? From there, I'll think about things. Oh, maybe I'll build a collaborative of inclusive people from different groups, and we can all do forecasting together. It's always fun when you do something together. Or what if we reframe our approach on this and look at it through a mixed market lens? So we completely change our dashboard and just throw in a different perspective. You can do this with all of your values, and it can take any minute thing that you don't want to do and energize it versus drain you. We do this in our businesses as entrepreneurs all the time. We don't like to do invoicing. We don't like to do a lot of the admin work behind it. We're hustlers. We like to get the deals. We like to work the deals. We love the people we get to work with. That stuff a lot of times is annoying. But if you want to run your business, you know you have to get it done. So think of a value. Think of how you can energize that. How can you make it more fun? Once again, we're going to that pleasure. Because when you do that with your W-2 and say, what can I learn from this to take it to my business? I do this with my Gen Zs all the time because 65% of them have their own business. This is new. This is very, very unique what we're going through with Gen Zs. And I love it because they're thinking, how do I learn from this company that I'm working for right now and take it to my business? What's working? What's not? What policies are accurate? What SOPs are working? How do that communication learn from that and take it to see what will I bring forward or what will I not bring forward in your own business? And if you're W-2, if you're not finding that, go find another one. But make sure it connects to where you're saying, this is what I value and I can take this forward. Then you'll love it. It's such that perspective shift is so energizing. And that at the end of the day is what this is about. Shifting your perspective to get more energy.
I love that. I love that. Rebecca, you're a jewel of a human being. Honestly, I'm so grateful that you have come into this space, that this is the type of accounting work that you enjoy doing.
I love it.
It really is so important, and so many people are going to gain a tremendous amount of insight, and hopefully they will learn how to manage their energy better and excel so that they can live in that level 5, 6, and 7 energy. And guys, I think this is so important that I have a special contest that I want to offer for those of you who are tuning in live. So here's what I'm going to do, guys. I want you to go to the website, and I'm going to put it up on the screen again. Sorry, guys. You guys have been so good in the chat today. Holy moly. There's like more comments here than normally, which is always great. I think it's energeticimpact.com, but I just want to find it again so that it's on the screen because some of you were asking for it. energeticimpact.com. Go to assessments, guys. Go to assessments and do the assessment. And then here's the special contest. Okay, I want you to go do the assessment, and I want you to screenshot that. And I want you to tag both Rebecca and myself on Instagram that it's done. Put it in your stories, okay? Here's what's going to happen. At the end of today, I'm going to select one of you who does that assessment, and I'm going to have my assistant zell you $100. I'm going to buy you a nice lunch tomorrow, okay? So that's the contest, guys. Go to energeticimpact.com, go to assessments. Take the assessment. I believe in this so much. I think it's really important that we do this. Take a photo, tag Rebecca. It's at Rebecca Ahmed. Is that correct on Instagram?
Rebecca E. Ahmed.
Rebecca E. Ahmed on Instagram. Guys, I tagged her in my stories as well in case you need to find that. So tag her, tag me, and make sure you pick up a copy of her book, The Energy of Success by Rebecca Ahmed. Rebecca, is there anything else that you'd like for us to hear about before we wrap up?
No, that's amazing. So as soon as you do the assessments, I'll send it to you. So it's funny because you purchase it and then I'll send it right after. So yeah, I can't wait because we'll get those debriefs scheduled, but go take it because you'll get to see where your energy is serving you and getting you to where you want to go, and then where it's draining, so you can just start getting rid of that. So I love it, Jamil. That's awesome.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Guys, make sure you follow her on all of her social media. And again, it's Rebecca E. Ahmed on Instagram. Do you have a YouTube channel?
I don't have a YouTube channel. Nope, on LinkedIn a lot. So obviously running around with corporate.
Awesome. Then also friend her on LinkedIn. And guys, again, make sure you go to energeticimpact.com, go to assessments, do the assessment, let us know that it was done. She'll send you the result, and I will send one of you $100 tomorrow because I believe in this so much. It has been a pleasure having you with us here today. Thanks for the work that you do in the world. And those of you who have tuned in, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and share this with a friend who you've seen is maybe lacking in some energy, because this could be very helpful. I love you guys. Have a beautiful rest of your week, and I'll see you next Sunday. Take care.
Thanks, Jamil.